world headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.
Yeah, we arrived at Tuchow about a couple of hours ago. It's in the middle of the countryside. It's a wintry, freezing cold scene to a small collection of really chalet bungalows. There's very little here, just one shower and enough space for one family. And of course, that family is Oksana, my dance partner from Strictly's family, and they've welcomed us with loving arms to this tiny place that they've found shelter in. There are her two grandparents in one small room, Zoya and Vasily. Vasily has quite a serious condition. He has Parkinson's. He's barely able to get out of bed, and Zoya greeted us all like a loving grandmother. Her aunt and uncle and a cousin are on their way to really well, it's a chalet that's no bigger than pretty much a one-bedroom, tiny little flat.
And they, like millions now of Ukrainians, have no urge to leave their homes but had to flee for safety. And as you say, very elderly, unwell. The grandfather, Vasily, 90 years old with Parkinson's. This has been an incredibly difficult journey for a lot of people. And there's, I suppose, in a lot of ways, the difficulties are just beginning.
Exactly so. And of course, the other part of it is that it really drives into sharp focus what happens when you need to leave your home suddenly. They left without a wheelchair, without the basic needs, basic things that are required for people's human dignity, going to the loo and so on and so forth, that you need if you're disabled. All of that had to be left as they journeyed for 7 days, sometimes without water, fleeing shelling to arrive here. But as soon as we did arrive, we managed to purchase, I must emphasise, a wheelchair. I emphasise that because the Red Cross is running out of them. We managed to get them the things that they needed that they could use for their bathroom and some basic medical supplies. And we were greeted like, well, long-lost family. There were tears, there was hugs, there was limitless gratitude, and they're here about 2.5 hours or thereabouts from the border, maybe a little bit longer. I have to tell you, it's a pretty rough journey to get here. But boy, Julia, are they resolute. They're resolute that they're going to stay here until they can go back to Ukraine, which they say they hope is very, very soon. And there's another complexion to this, which is they had a house in Russia. And of course, in eastern Russia, there are families there, in eastern Ukraine on the Russian border. This has split families. That family they don't talk to, that house they haven't been able to go to and refuse to go to, frankly, since 2014. Why? Because they're proud of being Ukrainian. Yeah. And I wanted to say one thing about Vladimir Putin, which is irrepeatable on radio, but the thing that I can say is when I asked them whether they had a message, it wasn't for me. I was greeted with so much love, but to the British people and everything they're doing. Not just when I told them about the 100,000 or so of offered rooms. These guys don't want them. They just want to say this: thank you so much to the British for everything you have done.
Well, indeed, it's now more than 120,000 last night, no doubt going up even more. We spoke to one of the lovely people who's offering their home, a woman with children, and they've got a spare bedroom. I mean, I'm all credit to these people. But what is the reaction on the ground, the people you've been able to speak to? You're out there with a producer, Ricky Freelove, as well, and you've been talking to people about reaction to where things are, because the devastation that is being laid to their home country. I mean, imagine if we were looking at footage on our phones or on TV screens and seeing cities that we know and love, that we've lived in, being flattened, being devastated. What is their feeling about the peace talks, about where this ends, and continuing to fight the Russians? What are people saying?
I have to say, right now, the people that we speak to are mums and kids, and their fundamental concern is getting to safety in various parts of Europe. And the people we spoke yesterday, the mums, one was going to Spain, one was going to France. It's not quite an answer to your question, but I will come back to it. The reality of those people, they had no idea of the generosity of the British people. And when we told them that many people had offered their homes, they hugged us. Two mums cried. They told us about how, in one case, they were pretending it was a game of hide and seek as the bombs were flying into and over Kiev, right near where they were. On the ground, their concern is, of course, safety, but they are proud Ukrainians. And as far as we can gather, and from the people we've spoken to, they want to go back to their nation. They want to rebuild it. They want to restore it. There is a sense of pride. You can see it sewn in the strong threads of their national flag, cloaked, if you like, around their president, who there is such admiration for. But critically, they want to go back to rebuild whatever is left, whatever devastation there may be. Because I emphasise, this is a nation that they feel that they've been temporarily separated from, but one that is within reaching distance from where they are, and one that they proudly want to go back to.
Indeed. Well, look, thank you very much indeed for joining us now.